All right, I'm just going to let a few more people. We're on everywhere. Okay, good deal. We've got a tornado warning. You're looking at it right now on my exclusive Viper radar. That's in effect for Nicholas County, West Virginia until 5 o'clock. And it's moving into northern Greenbrier County in West Virginia. The National Weather Service has just put out a severe thunderstorm warning. You see that in orange right there. So what this means is we have thunderstorms that were definitely rotating and still are in West Virginia. You see the Viper picking up on these areas that are circled right here. That's rotation at different levels of the atmosphere, about 60 knots of shear. And on a scale of 1 to 10, that's a 2.7 Barron Tornado Index. That's an exclusive parameter that we can show you now with our Viper technology. And we've got a 4.6 Barron number here coming in. That's a BTI of 4.6 out of 10. That's a pretty wound up storm, especially for the West Virginia high country. This is a good setup for severe weather and tornadoes, unfortunately, throughout the Ohio Valley and into West Virginia. We'll put a storm track on here, and you can see if I include some smaller locations, and we'll move our town list up here a little bit. We're going to be nearing the Lilly area in 8 minutes, Jetsville in 10 minutes. And for you folks just tuning in, this is in the Greenbrier Valley of West Virginia. Tornado warning for Nicholas County, severe thunderstorm warning for northern Greenbrier County in West Virginia. I believe I've got that right. Let me make sure. What county's up here? Yeah, northern Greenbrier County until 5:45. Now, tornadoes are possible even in this area here across Greenbrier County. This is moving in. It's the same storm, in other words. So it's spinning. And the Weather Service in Blacksburg may indeed have to put out a tornado warning for that cell. As we move it along here, Grassy Falls, Richwood in 15 minutes at 5:02, North Bend. You can see some of the locations here. Dogway at 5:12. Some pretty small populated areas, but it's going to do what it's going to do. It certainly has the characteristics on radar of something that's spinning up. So as we continue to watch that, you see it flashing there. That's the tornado warning. What is the purple? That's the large hail signature. And we'll be showing you all kinds of different things as we need to show you throughout the afternoon and evening going into tonight. And for a lot of us, this will continue into the overnight. So here's the broader view. You can see a lot of the area is still in the clear, but I'm watching this front because this front is hung up here from Lynchburg to Roanoke, and it intersects the area. I might add that one of the computer models, I think it was the HER, had this picked up on this storm and has it on the model output, has it moving across 39, Stanton, Charlottesville area throughout the overnight into the evening hours anyway. And so far that model's verified. It's just kind of eerie. That was I'm thinking back to last night's run, yesterday's run. This storm is moving off very fast to the east at, give me 1 second here. About half-inch hail to the east at 52 miles an hour. So it's carrying a lot of wind with it. Straight line winds are indeed likely with this, and that's showing up there in the contour, these little blocky spots. If that gets the red, you'll know there's some strong wind in there, but there's some small hail and there's some wind, and it's nearing the greater Marlington, Richwood area down the Marface. This is activity that's moving into the Greenbrier Valley of West Virginia. Now I'm going to pop up the radar here out of Charleston, and I had the velocity on here. We'll get rid of this and pop our right monitor up here. So this is the purple shaded area, the purple polygon now. And I'm going to read you the tornado warning verbatim here. Tornado warning for Fayette County is canceled because it moved out of there. Nicholas County, you still have it in effect until 5 o'clock, so about another 7 minutes. Radar indicated this rotation, but it was observed on radar, and I'll show you what I mean by that. If we rewind the tape here, you see that area right in through there. We're using the radar out of Charleston. So there's the radar site. This is wind coming towards the radar. This is wind coming out of the radar. And pretty tight couplet. Pretty tight couplet just about 10 minutes ago. And our correlation coefficient also dropped. It wasn't super low, super defined, but it was there. And you can certainly see the greens and the outbound here measuring. Now this was at 4:44, about 10 minutes ago. We were measuring about 66, 72 miles per hour going away from the radar and about 5 miles per hour going forward the radar. But if we actually take away that storm motion, you can certainly see the blues and the reds there showing the contrast. So that's where we certainly had rotation. And I'll outline it here for you so you can kind of see it. This is all relative to the Charleston radar. So you had it going toward the radar here and away from the radar just to the north of Quinwood. And as we advance the radar and get you up to speed on the current area, we'll go ahead and watch this through time. You can see that couplet there continues. You can see the severe thunderstorm warning go in effect for Greenbrier County from Blacksburg. And you can see the rotation becoming more ill-defined. So we did lose our couplet. It's not surprising to see that because these things are cyclical and they also will sometimes flatten out as they cross mountain ridges, and they can actually strengthen and reform. So it looks like that warning is going to expire in about 5 minutes here for the West Virginia area, the Nicholas County area, but the severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect until 5:45. Get you the regular reflectivity here until 5:45 for this part, northwestern parts of Greenbrier County. Right now also into, it looks like areas to the north of Falling Spring. We'll also want to watch this storm. We'll get our counties up here and look at them. We had one line of storms that produced a whole lot of damage through parts of West Virginia around the Charleston area all the way up to Marlington earlier. So some of these areas are already without power. Pocahontas County, I would keep my eye out for this cell because it's got a lot of rain with it. It certainly is going to maintain some lift, and there's probably a rear inflow jet that's diving down that helps to get those straight line winds going. In a situation like today, any of the straight line winds can be just as damaging as some of the rotation out there or a tornado. So this can be, whether it's swirling or not, it's something that you want to keep a very careful eye on and treat any warning as if you have damage coming your way, because that is certainly a possibility. Looking back on our Viper, I don't see any more indications of strong rotation, but I do see a path of hail and a path of some high wind. Let's see if I can put that back up for you. You can kind of follow it here. Get that back up on the screen. So you can follow the core of the highest winds, and you can see how it went into the lighter green there, into the reds. That's where the wind actually got a little higher and got up to severe threshold. You can see it's now picking up again on a little bit of rotation there, some broad rotation that it's showing me. It's over a course of 1 mile. It's a BTI of 2.4 out of 10. And that's still noteworthy. So, you know, the parent circulation may not have died off, although the low-level circulation is going to be hard to find because this storm is quite a ways away from the Charleston radar, and it's also a fair amount away from the Blacksburg radar, but we sure did see it there for a second. So I'll go back here off of Viper, and we'll show you again. You folks in Nicholas County, the threat has just moved out of that area. Earlier, and this may be now, I've got to check my timing here. At 3:20, we had quarter to golf ball sized hail. That was at 4:20, I'm sorry. And now we've got wind damage coming in. One structure damaged with a person trapped inside in Fayette County, West Virginia. So we've got somebody trapped in Fayette County. That is right where that circulation went. If you go back in time and you see where that, you can see how the Weather Service puts it right at that moment. Boom. That's where a parent tornado hit near Lookout in Nowlin. We've got one structure damaged with a person trapped inside, and that correlates very close to this potential tornado. This is looking not too far out of the West Virginia area, the Greenbrier Valley off to your south and west. This is coming out of the Blacksburg radar. And this was at 426. We advance it, that's 432. It got stronger. It got a little broader but remained strong at 435. And going up to about 438, still in progress. And here's your current. It's very ill-defined, but there's still something. There's some straight line winds for sure in this area, and that is why the National Weather Service in Blacksburg has that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Sometimes they even put tornado possible, and yes, they have. You see it on your screen there. That means they're calling it a severe thunderstorm warning, but they want you to be aware that this could indeed produce a tornado. And again, the models all had this yesterday. Unfortunately, it's come to fruition. I misspoke. This is the Charleston radar. So we are seeing circulation. The reds are going away from the radar screen. That's near Clearco in West Virginia, northwest Greenbrier County from Quinwood to Clearco. And this may be intensifying again. I'm seeing some yellow in that area that's co-located with this couplet here that's beginning to strengthen again. We may see another tornado warning issued very soon out of the National Weather Service in Blacksburg for Greenbrier County. I'm going to go ahead and tell you folks to get into an interior room in Greenbrier County, north of Clearco, south of Richwood. It's moving off to the east at a very quick pace here. And right now, to me, it does look like that has enough rotation that it's starting to strengthen again. Let's look at the weather map here, and you can see the one cell in West Virginia. You see all this filled area. This is the supercell parameter. And you can see elevated values around Roanoke. And you can see temperatures here are actually quite interesting. You've got, get my drawing tool, we've got 85 degrees in Southside, 80 across Mount Airy, North Carolina. We've got 76 in Blacksburg, and we go from the 70s to the 60s in a real quick hurry. So if we were to draw temperature contours, they would look something like this. But you can see a lot of temperature contrast through here. So what's happening is the vorticity's been generated and enhancing along this frontal boundary that we've got across the area. You can almost see the low clouds in the wedge holding in here. So this is where we have northeasterly winds, and intersecting that are very warm southwesterly winds coming in like that. So when these storms hit the front, they start to spin, and that's where you get in trouble. See if I can pick a different color out here. Now there's too many colors to trying to get a color that's not on the map. So when these storms come in, we've got one very strong line here with severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warnings along it. We've got just discrete cells. These are individual cells, and this cell is happening at the bottom of a storm cluster. So just regular old rain for northern Virginia for right now, but later on some of this warmer area is going to start to move in, and that's going to fuel these showers and storms. In the front itself, again, that front acts as a boundary. It acts as a focus mechanism to, if it's a swirl in the atmosphere, it will take it down to the surface, and it will cause that swirl to kind of tuck in and become more concise and more basically elongated as it encounters the updraft from the storm. And that's how tornadoes basically form. We've got a mesoscale discussion out right now, so we'll look at that here as we show you what's going on. This is from the Storm Prediction Center at 3:38. They're thinking about putting a tornado watch out for the Greenbrier Valley, and it could include areas north of Roanoke and Lynchburg, perhaps. They're saying a tornado, large-scale damaging winds appear possible with the supercell in West Virginia as it moves eastward. The need for a watch will remain unclear, so it's a toss-up right now as whether or not they'll actually put a watch out. I will tell you that we don't really concern ourselves here in this part of the world with whether there's a watch out or not. If you've got a front and you've got enough juice in the air, enough humidity, and enough instability, and we sure do, and enough turning with height, you certainly do have the chance of seeing anything in terms of straight line winds or severe weather and potential tornadoes. Lots of juice in the air. This is a look at the dew points, the significant tornado parameter, and we'll pop on there. So tornado warning now in effect for Greenbrier County, West Virginia, just issued. You have the exclusive heads up there, and that's near Clearco. That's going to be north of Falling Spring and Trout, but just to the southwest of Hillsboro. This is for Greenbrier County in West Virginia. We'll read you that text. That's until 5:30 for another 25 minutes. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Duo, 7 miles south of Richwood, moving east at 50. Flying debris, and they're putting this wording out with the severe thunderstorm warnings too. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes damaged or destroyed. If you live in mobile homes in northern Greenbrier County, you need to get out of those and lie in a ditch. I know that it's raining really hard in some areas, but you're safer if you can make it out of a mobile home. Damage to roofs, windows, vehicles will occur. Don't worry about opening the windows. Just get to the lowest level of a room and have as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Usually if you get into a bathtub or some kind of storage closet, that you have maybe under the stairs, or if you don't have a basement, basically the center part of your home, a hallway with all the doors closed will work. That'll provide a little extra protection for you. Now with this, I can show you the area of spin over the past hour, and we can get a very clear indication that this thing has moved. It's a pretty long track. It came out of the Charleston, West Virginia area. It's cut across areas north of Whitesville, Oak Hill, and Raynell, and now it's moving into starting to re-energize here as it moves in the Greenbrier County in West Virginia. Here it is on Viper. Maybe. There it is. So you can see the two areas of rotation now shown on Viper. The more of the rotating cylinders that you see, the more spin that the Viper technology is picking up on. It's certainly also indicating a lot of high wind potential here as well. I'll take that off so you can see the hail potential as well. With any supercells, you get hail on the north front of the storm, that northern flank there. But you can see the storm vector here, and this is an exclusive product as well. Viper has its own ability to show where it thinks storms are moving, and it's been proven more accurate than the Weather Service storm vectors at times. This is going to track just to the south of West Virginia 55 and 39, and unfortunately it looks like Hillsboro, you've got about maybe 15 minutes. At 5:26 it's going to be moving into your area. That's in the Hillsboro, West Virginia area. Kinnison at 5:28, Violet at 5:31. So there's your city list, and that's the path there, as you can see. So I move some of this over here so you can get a better idea. I'm not showing you my full screen. I've got it zoomed in a bit so you can see some of the indicators a little clear. Let's see, I move the cities back. There we go. And the reason, you've got a storm vector that was moving east-northeast, and now we're seeing it move more east. When these storms rotate, it causes the storm to move to the right of the main wind. So the storm will take off in its own direction sometimes by about 20-25 degrees. And when the tornadoes weaken, when the circulation weakens, it'll start moving northeast again. But for right now, it's a due east movement, and maybe a little south of east even. But we've got due east here showing up on our Viper, and some red showing up in the wind potential That's not good. That's very high wind potential there. Let's see if I can find our bearing button. This is another thing I can show you here if I can get the pop up. Showing us a lot of hail in there as well. Tornado warning, northern Greenbrier County in West Virginia. This place, Greenbrier, I tell you, they get hit a lot more often now. That's going to be nearing also the intersection of 219 in West Virginia. I'm going to take you back out now, and we're going to look at our Charleston radar. We've got a larger complex of storms that we've got a special weather statement out for from Arlington, West Virginia, into Addison, up to about Mill Creek. That's right near the stationary front that's dividing the cool, low clouds that's keeping Winchester in the 50s today. Roanoke, we've just moved into the warm slot. We're up to 70, 72 degrees. 82 degrees down in Martinsville and to Stewart, it's 82. 77 on Interstate 77. It's a warm day, and it's a very muggy day. Dew points are near 60 out across the New River Valley. So we'll put this in motion, and you can actually see it rotating. It's the southern part of the storm where we see the most rotation, and it's probably more impressive than the radar is able to show. This storm is directly in between the Charleston radar, which is right here, and the Blacksburg radar. So we're measuring, the beam is hitting the storm at about 5,000 feet. Your tornado occurs on the lowest 500 to 1,000 feet. So we are 5 times higher than we would be, than we need to be to actually see the ground. So we're having to use observations as close as we can get them. And you can see the storm relative velocity there. It does have a nice couplet, unfortunately for folks near Clearco. Very tight couplet right there, and that's where you see those oranges. Look at the topography here. Tell me tornadoes don't happen in mountains? Yeah, they do. You can see all the mountainous areas right through here in the West Virginia, the Greenbrier Valley, a very mountainous area. These tornadoes can go up and over mountains in a real quick hurry. For the rest of us, we've got more storms upstream that we're going to continue to watch. But this storm's got got a history of damage right now. We've got damage in Fayette County, West Virginia, and this is nearing the Hillsborough area. We'll wait and see if it re-energizes and spins back up. It looks like we've got a second circulation developing near Hillsborough. So you see the old one down here, and now the newer one is forming a little further up. And again, we're looking as low as we can, but we're not quite able to see because both radars are overshooting this by about 4,000 feet. So we need to be able to get a little lower, but we'll do what we can. This is from the Blacksburg radar, and you can see Charleston has the better view on this. If we use Blacksburg, we're looking all the way up to 6,400 feet. So it's not really doing us much good, but you can see the hail core. This is hail, and we can show you that here with our VIL. You can see that. We've got another tornado warning. It's just been issued. So the Weather Service, I believe this is right at the intersection of all the offices. So, okay, we're back in Charleston's territory. We've got southern Pocahontas County until 5:45. We also, if we don't watch, we're going to end up in Sterling's area. That's the Weather Service office near D.C. This is until 5:45. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornadoes near Leonard, 9 miles south of Renwick, moving east at 45. So that's just been issued. That includes the Marlington area. And there's the new tornado warning that's flashing there on your screen. You can see the part of the storm now is moving to the north and east. So at Marlington, you are going to get a bad storm. Whether or not you see the actual circulation, tough to say, because as the circulation weakens, it will move more north than east. As it tightens, it'll move more east than north. So we're kind of split in the middle here. That's why you see this area from West Virginia 39 and 92 in the Hillsborough. And we've got that damaging wind now. I can zoom on in and show you some of these smaller roads. That's near Berry Knob Road in West Virginia. And also, these are probably on the tops of mountains. I don't know if we have a lot of population here. Leonard Cordova Road. It looks like this thing was encountering the mountains, and it looks like the atmosphere is winning because the mountains are doing very little to rid that circulation. So it's a very concerning picture right now. If I show you the Blacksburg radar, you can see that the rotation has increased. We are now looking at greens and some of the yellows here popping out very vivid to us. And look at the topography underneath all this. Look at all those mountains. So as I said, it's a ridge that it's crossing, and it's amazing to have a tornado that's sitting right there on top of some 5,000-foot mountains. But we've got it. And let's see if I've got a lower correlation coefficient, but that could be ice, could be hail. It's difficult to see. I don't have it in a big circle, but I do show that. And there's your area of spin. So it's now moving down the valley. So you folks in Hillsborough, get ready. You're going to catch the brunt of this. Marlington to Hillsborough, you need to be taking shelter in a basement or the lowest level of whatever structure you are in. Get into a bathtub, put sheets, pillows, mattresses over you. Also be prepared for damaging straight line winds and hail with this storm. We've got people trapped in structures to the west where the storm has tracked. We've got the wind that's changing quite a bit with each radar scan and those yellows and reds. That tells us there's something that's trying to get going there. I'm looking at the updraft strength, and we've got some melting hail showing up there in the orange. I'll let you know if I see debris. Debris would show up as nothing. So if we see a big empty area on that cranberry looking thing, we'll know that's the KDP. We'll know we've got some debris. Either way, I think we can almost, if it spins up the way it did, we can almost call it a tornado because it certainly matches what we had earlier. Going back out of the Charleston radar now and starting to move farther away from Charleston. So now Charleston's seeing this at about 6,000 feet as well. But that's actually lower than Blacksburg seeing it. So that the actual polygon is for Hillsborough and the Marlington area, almost up to Frost. Just for a reference, Bath County's here in the Warm Springs. It's just off to your west. I think Highland County and Bath County are the areas right now that are under the gun. And if you are watching in the Stanton, Charlottesville, Orange, Culpeper, Louisa County, north of Richmond, I'd watch this over the next couple of hours because some of the models have had that circulation moving across West Virginia. And for you folks watching on the Star News page, we'll show you what's going on. And back out here, there's your tornado warnings in West Virginia. Here's the Henry County area. I tell you, you folks, you're up into the lower 80s. That's a lot of unstable air. The good news is the core of the lift is not going to get here until probably later tonight. And I've got a few models I can show you here. This was an old model here of the experimental run here. But you can see how the experimental run does have, this is from this morning, has that cell that's right now producing the tornado warning. So again, a lot of the models picked up on this. And you can see that through 6 o'clock, through 7 o'clock, it does look like locations that are in maybe even Lexington, Buena Vista, Rockbridge County, and the Stanton area, Waynesboro, Afton Mountain. You may want to watch out by 6 or 7 o'clock because this model's got a good handle on that one complex it's moving through. The rest of us, you can see more activity firing. This is 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock p.m. This is midnight. Notice all that activity here, off to the west. It's going to still storm, and we may see individual storms form into the night. This is 2 o'clock in the morning. Note we see that storm there near Roanoke. We've got activity all the way back in the western North Carolina, Georgia, more around Charleston, West Virginia, Johnson City, Tennessee. All that's got to move east at some point. Even early in the morning, down across North Carolina from Charlotte to Fayetteville and Raleigh, and another line moving through West Virginia. This is 6 o'clock in the morning. Watch out New River Valley, watch out Roanoke Valley, watch out Southside. Tomorrow morning could be a busy day. And even by mid to late morning, we could see one final surge move into Southside Virginia. So you folks watching in Henry County, it's looking more like a tonight and tomorrow event for you unless a new storm develops out ahead of this. That's moving north of Danville on this model run here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And DC down to Richmond needs to watch out because that warm air is going to be pulled north with that system. We've got a lot of vorticity here shown in blue. We've got plenty of CAPE. We've got a supercell composite that's up around 4 to 6. We've got a violent tornado parameter of 1. That's right where that supercell is right now. And look off to the west at how high these values are. Violent tornado parameter of 4 to 7. That's just a way of kind of seeing where a tornado potential is. Here's the bigger view. And we've got a plethora of tornado warnings. These are confirmed tornado warnings right now in southern Indiana, down to Paducah, Kentucky here, and more storms firing across Tennessee. So it's going to start to get pretty busy here into the evening hours, I'm afraid, into the overnight hours across southern Ohio and the northeast Tennessee, West Virginia, Virginia already, Southwest Virginia and the immediate Roanoke Valley area potentially into tonight. And although we'll lose some of the sunlight, we still have the dynamics of the storm that still has to move through the area. This is off the NAM from today. This is near Roanoke. This is a forecast sounding for 6 o'clock. Now, we don't have any tornadoes to use this, but this was something I clicked on. This is the wind at the surface, and it's coming out of the south-southeast on this model run, and it veers really strong, and in a real quick hurry, we go from 5 knots out of the southeast to south-southwest at 30 knots to west at 50, all in a matter of just about 5,000 feet. So it's that lowest 1 kilometer that we are really concerned about. You can see how that where the mouse pointer is, that's the inflow layer there in the light blue. And it's quantifying that and saying compared to previous events, this would put it on an EF2 or higher scale, PDS tornado potential, if you went off the NAM model for today. Let's get back to the actual radar picture. So we're in Pocahontas County now. We've got damage from earlier today. Lots of trees down, but we've got the tornado warning and some hail that it continues now from Raintown, getting its name, earning its keep right now, to near Spice and Droop. These are locations that may have just 5 or 10 people in them. Some of the beautiful country of West Virginia, though, and that's near Highway 219. I went chasing some snow up here one time and barely made it back, but right now, West Virginia is wild and wonderful and unfortunately dangerous if you're in this tornado warning that continues until 5:45. Marlington, you're looking at right now. Marlington and Hillsborough, you need to take cover now. Carry blankets, pillows with you to an interior room. Let's go back to our radar picture out of Blacksburg. Now notice we've got tornado warnings again off to the west here in Indiana and in Tennessee even. So it's going to be a long night tonight. One of the more historic outbreaks, ironically on the anniversary of the 1974 outbreak, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Wait, 50 years ago. I'm getting too old. But yeah, and it's a similar setup actually. The Ohio Valley area under the gun here. So I'm going to continue to watch it here. I'm going to sign off for right now. I'm going to continue to gather things. I'm going to put out an actual post so this can get shared out. And we'll jump back on.